what up? This your boy Mellow Man Ace El Padrino.
This your boy Chingo Bling.
My name is Questlove.
What's up? This is Method Man.
I'm 50 Cent.
Yo, what's up? This is Isaac.
And you're checking out the Chino brothers right here. Keep it locked. Peace.
Dude, you didn't. I sent you the new one, Adelaide, that had the fade on it.
We got all sidetracked.
I just spent 7 minutes working on that fade.
That's my bad. That's my. Oh, you did send it. I'm looking right now. I was like, we got sidetracked.
Thanks for making my day worse. Thank you.
Mike's. But in the green room, some stuff came up, and we're like,
well, in the green room, we were talking about like, how did that come up, dude?
I don't know. We're talking about like what news stories we think we should do. Then there's a news story, and we're like, ooh, and then it kind of went off on a thing, and it's like, oh no,
I can't remember. Oh well, one way or another, we have Abby Loces on tonight. Wonderful singer.
Really I hope we didn't scare her. I hope we didn't scare you, Abby, in the green room. So
from acting all angry, yeah, Adelaide got me like Adelaide's like, this will be funny. I'll make Mike angry. No, but you know what? Seriously, the. What's Drask got to say?
What up, Drask? What's up, homie?
You want to put me in a better mood, bro? Tell me a joke, something. I don't know. But anyways, back to what I'm saying. So, yeah, like I don't want to be frustrated. I had a good day at work. Everything was good. How was your work day today, my Chino brother?
It's always awesome working in the music industry and stuff, and just doing what we do, man. Lining up summer promotions. Kids are out of school right now. You're seeing less traffic on the way to work, which I love. Nice. And the phone calls you get is, dude, where can I send my kids? They're already bouncing off the walls at home, and they're going nuts. I'm like, man, it's been like 4 days. So when does school get out in Pittsburgh?
Well, everybody else besides Nehemiah and Sachi's school are already out. But their school gets out next week.
Oh, they got another week, huh?
Yeah, dude. We had a week late. Remember, we showed up in California a week when everybody started school. So we had that week off.
Which is good because then all the amusement parks were less crowded.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, it was
less crowded. Phenomenal.
So, all right. Real quick, I want to ask you this. When you talk about the show, when it's not us sitting here on the show, obviously about the show, but when you're talking to somebody about the show and they're like, do you ever get this one? Oh, yeah, you do that with your brother, don't you? Do you get that one?
No.
I get that all the time. They're like, you do that with your brother, right? And I was like, well, he's not my biological brother. We're called the Chino brothers. It's a DJ name. Like that was our
I've never got that, but I did get props today. Someone's all, man, you guys got a great YouTube page. The videos are sick. Your guests are awesome. And it was from a person I was like, oh, like it's impressive to get that from. But of course I said,
tell your mom I said
Mike does that.
Tell Cooney I said thank you. So.
Thanks, Mom. But I did tell him, I was like, Mike does all the video editing. So, so he makes it look beautiful.
Right.
Definitely say that. So.
Well, speaking of beautiful, we have a beautiful young lady on the show tonight. She's a wonderful singer. She's going to tell us all about her story and her brand new single.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Abby Loces. Woo!
What's going on,
Abby? Abby coming in from the studio, huh?
Coming from the studio, my little room.
That is awesome too, because see that it looks like, well, behind the scenes, Mike made this real pretty for me back here, but behind it is dirty socks and a mess.
This is what I was a music teacher for a long time, so that's thousands of pieces of music and books and all kinds of what I did as a music director. So it's pretty cool. It's just
originally you're from Calexico, correct, Abby?
Mexico, yeah.
Now that's on the other side of Mexicali, correct?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
When I was a kid, my dad had a friend from Mexicali. His name was Cesar, and we would go over there. Now, when my dad had met him, so my dad is Japanese. Hence the Chino brothers. That's where we get the name. But anyways, my grandfather was from Mexico, the Japanese one. So he was a fisherman from Japan. He jumped the boat and landed in Mexico. Came up to East LA.
Okay.
But when my dad was young, he would go down to Mexico and explore and stuff when he was like 18, 19. So he meets this guy, Cesar, real nice guy, right? This is how he meets him. He goes into town. The whole town shut down. And him and his friend, Oscar Ortiz, they go into a bar. So they walk into this bar and there's a wedding party going on. And so my dad's like, we got to get out of here. Cesar goes up to my dad and is like, no, please stay. And he says, where are you guys staying tonight? They're like, there's no place to stay. He's like, stay with me. This goes on
Right.
for until I'm a little kid, and by the time I'm a little kid and I'm going over to Cesar's house, but I was probably like 12 or 13 the last time I went there. He's a politician now in Mexicali. Him and his family are politicians. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not
So
surprised though. There's a lot of Asian. There's a very large Asian community in Mexicali.
yeah,
Chinese.
and Chino. Yeah. I'm very familiar, but yeah, I'm very familiar with that part of California. I
Oh, it's
traveled there all the time when I was young. I will say this, Adelaide. I know that they say that where was it? Not Sinaloa in not Mazatlan. Where is it that Cynthia and them were from? Hermosillo. Yeah, they say Hermosillo. Yeah, they say
Yes.
Hermosillo has the
Hermosillo.
prettiest ladies. But I'll tell you right now, Mexicali, there's some nice looking ladies over there, and Calexico wasn't bad either. There's some,
Not too bad, right?
yeah, you know what I mean. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, he became a politician.
Yeah, when I was younger, Miss Universe came from the Miss Universe who won was from Mexicali. And it was a big deal. I mean, I was a little girl, but it was, she was a superstar. That was a huge deal just to have somebody from Mexicali win that. And of course, she was all over town. It was cool to have her in Calexico.
So did you guys just
Wow.
go back and forth when you were a kid over the border? No willy nilly, no problems, no nothing.
Back in those days, it was, when I was younger and before 9/11, before all of that, it was easy. You could cross the border back and forth every day. It wasn't a big deal. Coming back during the holidays or crossing during the holidays, that's the worst. No matter
Yeah.
when, that's just.
I mean, only the worst if you didn't want a pottery of like a bootleg Scooby Doo, or you didn't want, a pinata or some chicle or something
Some
like that.
chicle.
Sometimes those lines were miles long during Christmas and Thanksgiving. The American holidays, they all want to come to this side, so the line's longer on that
Oh
side.
yeah.
But you know what? I do want to share one thing that no one else anywhere in the country that has the Mexican border can do. And when I was in high school, my friends and I, we would get in a car during lunch break, drive all the way across the border, get taquitos for like $2, big plate of taquitos,
Yeah.
all of them, and we, bring them all back. And we were in class by the time the bell rang. So we basically crossed the border, get all this food, eat, come back right in time for the next class. It was awesome.
And everybody drank Tecate beer. Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. I don't know why, but everybody drank Tecate beer there. But I will say this: Mexicali is you know what it is, Adelaide? When you envision, like from a movie, what a Mexican city should look like a Pueblo type city.
Yeah.
That's what Mexicali looks like. It's a
How?
real nice town.
Yeah.
A lot of middle class, good education system.
Yeah.
But
Oh, wow.
just like every other Mexican city,
Where is
there's
it like
poverty.
in relation to like San Diego TJ?
San Diego TJ, it's probably about a 2-hour drive. See, we're closer to Arizona. So I'm about
Okay.
Mexico's about 60 miles from Arizona, from Yuma. So it's really, we get to Arizona much, much faster than getting to the other side, to TJ.
Okay. And now is it because TJ is like a party town, right? I mean, nightclubs, everything. It's not that at all.
No, I'm telling you, Mexicali, it's a suburb. It's the safest border town
Well,
I've ever seen.
I don't know about that, but
I mean, compared to like Nogales, compared to Juarez, compared to
Well, that's
you know what I
why-
mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, even
It was-
Lincoln over in Yuma is grimy. Like it's like
It's probably 'cause it's so hot. It's like 115
I
miles.
know, huh?
Oh, that's brutal. Yeah. Shout out to Dos Muchos. Dos Muchos is from Yuma.
Doses. Yeah, that's true. Doses.
Yeah, he's from that area too. So yeah, because I'm thinking too. I mean, back to the music business real quick. I mean, your high school years, maybe even your junior high years, kind of shape where you're going to go with music. I think if that's not true, let me know. But there's a time in your life where you gravitate towards something musically, and I'm thinking if this town's a couple hours away east from San Diego, closer to Arizona. Were there influences there? I mean, were there clubs? I mean, what kind of music scene was there?
I mean, I remember crossing the border to go dancing at the, there were no clubs in Calexico. Calexico didn't even have a movie theater when I would live there.
Okay.
Going crazy. So you cross the border to do pretty much everything and to have fun, and or the nearby towns that were really far away. And I just remember radio top 40. If there was an artist in town that I liked, you go to the Calafia, the Bull Ring. You have these incredible concerts there. And it was like living next to a cosmopolitan, huge city when you're still living in a little tiny farming town. So I had the best of both worlds. You're living in this farming community that's really small. Everybody knows everybody. And, you buy tickets to go watch Depeche Mode or, Califas or something. And you just cross the border and you're there with, 30,000 people. And it's just crazy. So it was like a double life that you have living at the border. And it was so cool to cross the border and do all these wonderful things. Go to these, like the clubs were like Studio 54 in New York City. They would pour in millions to these buildings. And it was just amazing. I remember going home going, wow, this is, I live in this little desert town, but we got it pretty good when you cross the border. It's not bad. It's like having I don't know. It just reminded me of what I had heard about the clubs in New York City, because they were just amazing. It was just
they were probably more fun in Mexicali, to be totally honest with you, because think of the lack of restriction you'd have. And, we used to go to Nogi. We go to Nogales.
At 18 too. You didn't have to wait.
Oh
yeah.
18.
Yeah, loosely.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, growing up in SoCal, did you ever you go down to TJ and Rosarito and stuff?
I never did.
You never did that.
No, and also you got to remember, like, my dad and my family, we went to Mexico all the time. We lived in a Mexican neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like, my brother and sister are half Mexican. Like I was very Mexican, Adley. So it wasn't like, hey, let's go act like Americans in Mexico. Like, we didn't act like Americans when we were in Mexico. Like we were Americans, but like this idea of like, hey man, let's pee on the ground so somebody has to see us. No, that wasn't for us, and that's how come we went to Mexicali. We didn't go to, La Paz. We didn't go to Rosarito. We didn't
touristy
go to
kind of.
Yeah, like,
okay.
Like my family, we never did that type of stuff. Like, we would go to San Felipe and like, and be on the beach. You know what I mean? So yeah, but like it was just, but I'm being honest, like, so where she's from, it's very, it kind of reminds me of is more of like what's that? What's like one of those European like party towns. I'm trying, but not part, because there's a lot of class in Mexicali. That's the thing. So
it's a great city that has, a very wealthy area, Los Pinos, with like their Beverly Hills. They have the very large middle class, and of course, there's a lot of poverty too. So you have everything. I mean, it's. My mother used to work helping the homeless children. There's lots of homeless kids running around. So there's a lot of poverty too. So you pretty much see everything in all extremes too, even in the middle. So growing up seeing the poorest and the richest, and then you're in the middle. It gives you a certain type of mind frame when moving to LA. There's no poverty here, not real.
Mexico poverty, yeah.
Not like Mexico.
So
Yeah.
Was it 19 you moved to Los Angeles, or 18? How you're a kid,
I
right?
I was thinking 18, 19. I think I came in. Gosh, I think I went.
Don't say the year, because then we'll all know how old we are.
19,
Don't do that.
I'm not going to tell you the year. No.
Yeah. That was back in 2017, folks. So
Later on.
What inspired the move from this, sounds like great place to live, really, to LA?
Yeah, it's a wonderful place to grow up. I mean, that, for sure, it really helped me focus on music because there were no distractions. Unless you're crossing the border every day, that's different.
Right.
But my parents didn't let me, so I had to focus.
Abby, real quick, can we catch up with some shout outs?
Yeah, definitely. Let's do it.
Let's just light up real quick.
This is actually my cousin from Thailand.
Hi.
Hello. I think she's giving the hard eyes to you, Abby. I'm pretty sure. Not to us.
Very good.
Gavin checking in too.
Gav?
What's up, guys? And Marcus checking in too.
What up, Marcus?
Hi, Mike. Adley. Hi, Abby. And Joseph Moreno, thanks for the introduction.
What up, homeboy?
I'll definitely check out the music. Very cool.
Right on. So, that's what we like to do. Promote the artist. So 18, 19-ish, you come down to Los Angeles. Now, what part of Los Angeles did you move to?
Well, it wasn't technically LA. I got accepted to California Institute of the Arts to go study music. And honestly, it was the only affordable way to get out of town.
Wait, what city's that in? What
It's
city is
like,
that though?
I didn't have, there was no other way. I went to Valencia up in
Okay.
As you say, up north, kind of
Yeah.
north in LA, right? Okay, okay.
30 minutes from LA. It's not that far.
Magic Mountain. You get to go
Six
to
Flags,
Magic
Magic
Mountain all the
Mountain.
time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had a weekend job there and everything. Magic
Good
Mountain.
for you.
Yes,
Nice.
it was a good place to just really grow, and it changed my life. That was my introduction to world music in every level. I mean, everything I learned. Balinese and African and Indian music and dance, and I mean, I did everything you can think of. Just never experienced that in Calexico, right? So I was just, I went crazy, and it was like I don't know, it just reminds me of that school in New York, like Fame. Remember
I
that?
was about to say,
Ah.
you mean Fame, but then I was like, maybe she's talking about Juilliard. I don't know.
No, it was just like that. And God, I'm dating myself here, but you know what? It was just like that. It was amazing. It was like the cafeteria, and the guys playing piano, and people started dancing. And it really happened there,
That's cool.
It was amazing. And
Now-
so I just grew. That's where my.
Go ahead, Ad.
I was just gonna say, so what were you playing as far as like? I know is percussion kind of your main thing.
No, actually, I'm a pianist.
Oh, okay.
That was my main thing. So I didn't learn percussion until much later. That was probably till I left school. I tried percussion there, but percussion and drums didn't come till after I left school, when I came to LA. So LA, technically, even though I came out here at 18, 19, I was about 23, 24 when I actually moved to Los Angeles, to the city.
Okay.
And then just trying to survive and make it happen and all that. That's
It's so hard. It's so hard in LA.
yeah,
It's such a rattle race. But you got locked into the Spanish music scene. But it's got like the hard part about trying to do music in Los Angeles, and I feel like everybody's like LA, New York, and it's like, okay, but you got to recognize there are 9,000 people who are going to waste your time pretending that they're important enough
yeah.
to help you do something, and you don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I went through that. I
of course, everybody does.
My time, hurry up and wait, and oh yeah, you're gonna be a writer, and then never call, and just auditions, rejections, just joining bands, and I mean, it's hard enough to. My parents thought I was crazy. I mean, they supported my music dreams, but to actually go with as a career choice, so are you nuts? So it's amazing that I survived, but I sacrificed a lot to make it happen. I mean, I lived in my car. I lived in my studio. I had a little practice studio. I lived in there. One of my teachers had an office, and he offered, he was going on hiatus some other country. He's like, here, take my keys. I know what's going on. I mean, I did everything I could, so I didn't have to go back to Calexico. I love my town, but what am I going to do there? Yeah. So, I think I did everything you can think of without being immoral and doing illegal stuff,
Yeah.
to survive and to just really make it happen. And it wasn't easy at all. It was very
So how do you go down the Spanish route? Because I know that's the back, that's the middle ground here, is that you were.
Yeah, it was a combination of being at the right place at the right time, knowing the right people, and having enough talent to show off and say, hey, I could do this. I was at a gig. I had a gig in a band. I was playing keyboards, but they didn't want me to play keyboards. They wanted me to play the horn section. They couldn't hire the horn guys on the band, so I was playing horns, and all that stuff on the keyboard. I was singing. It was a really weird gig, but it paid well, getting by. And one of the singers, the main singer, was a timbalera named Coco. If you're watching this, I'm in contact with her.
Wait, hold on. Let me ask something real quick.
Yeah.
How often did you play? Was it an every night gig, or was it
like 4 or 5 nights a week?
Okay, so 4 or 5 nights a week, and he said it paid decent. What did it pay, if you don't mind telling us?
I mean, decent.
$1,000 a week,
$500
$500 a week.
It was like each gig at the time, maybe between $60 to $100. Just
So waitress money, would you say?
say it again.
Would you say waitress money at the time?
Waitress money? Yeah, I would say
Okay.
so. It's like around. Yeah, I would say that.
Because I don't want to date you, so I don't want to ask what year it is, but I'm trying to give a gauge of how much money there is. You dig where I'm going? So,
Yeah.
anyways,
No,
so yeah, you're playing this weird gig. The horns on the piano. Go ahead.
So the singer tells me, hey, you want to meet I'm going on tour with Alvaro Torres. You want to meet the director? I think you'd be good at this gig. I'm like, okay, sure, yeah, let's go. And so she took me a day or two later, and I met the director, and I played for him and sang. And he said, muy bien, you know what, you want to go on tour? And I was like, sure, of course. And I didn't know who Alvaro Torres was. I was like, I was
right about to ask you.
I grew up with, rock and roll top 40.
Yeah.
Everything you can think of in the hip hop scene and everything, but I didn't know this artist. I didn't know him well. And so I got the tour, and he says, okay, well, here's the CD. Here's the album, right? Learn the whole thing. We leave tomorrow. And I had to learn the whole thing overnight.
Oh my gosh.
And I still didn't know who he was, right? So I'm
oh my
learning this
gosh.
album, and I'm learning all the backgrounds, and I can do this. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm trying to memorize it. And I'm on a plane the next day. We're going over Mexico. I don't know. I forget where we went, but some other country, somewhere in Latin America. And at the gig, I still don't know who this guy is, right? So I'm thinking, okay, cool. We're going to do, I'm going to do my first show with this guy. This music's really great. We had a great rehearsal. I met him. Really nice, all was good. And we did like some kind of stadium or something.
Oh, wow. I was about to ask how many people. Yeah.
I'm up there. And this is my first gig, right? My first gig coming off of whatever little clubs I've been doing in town.
Yeah, coming out of the Rusty Nail or whatever that crappy bar is that you're singing the horns to.
I did a lot. All that training at the clubs, all my mistakes especially, got me ready for this. But I wasn't ready for 20,000 people or whatever. It was.
You think it was 20? How many people do you think it was?
It must have been between 10 to 20,000. I mean, they were, and I've never experienced this. So I'm up there, and the girls already, there's 2 or 3 other singers, and they're just like, all right, this is what we do. It's all good. And so we get up there, and we've been rehearsing. I know what to do. I know my lines. I got everything. And when I saw the people, my lips started going.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be wild, huh?
I couldn't sing crap. Like, I couldn't sing the first 2 songs. I was just I don't know, I couldn't get it. I couldn't get my lips to. I was so shocked. I have never seen that many people.
Was this dude looking back at you like, you better start singing, lady? I brought you here from America.
I was doing my thing, and I was like, just trying to get going. And the girls were like, what the hell's wrong with you? And
whoa.
So, like 2 songs later, I got it together. But, oh, my God, it was the shock of it was so intense to see that many people. And I was like, who the hell is Alvaro Torres?
Wow.
So I found out he was like a superstar over there. I had
Did you guys, now how long did this tour last then?
And we were, oh my gosh, well, I worked for him for about 6-7 years. So it was like, we would, do a whole bunch of cities in different countries, and then we would stop, and I'd work with, it was a situation where another artist would call me, found out about me, I'd work with them, then back with Alvaro, and then another artist. So I never stopped. I just kept going and going and going. And I mean, but that was the very beginning. It started with him, and I started getting sessions with people, and it just opened all these doors. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
One gig to just go,
So how long did you end up touring? Because you told us that you'd been a music teacher. So when did you go from touring to becoming a music teacher?
I know. I toured for about, I don't know, people keep asking me that, probably between about 9 years, I think, something like that.
Wow, that's a long time.
And it was a long time, yeah. I mean,
all right, now we're not going to know how old you were during these 9 years, so you're probably 6 or 7. But
really young, I was a little girl.
Exactly, but
so,
but you did something with Enrique Iglesias, right, or no?
Yeah. We did Sony Studios. We did some promotional events. I didn't tour with him though. I just worked with him. I was just happy to work with him at all. I mean, it was just
Was that during that time frame?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The same.
Because I'm trying to figure out who's hot at the time, Adlai. But I don't want to ask what year. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't want to be like, so you're 19 and what? You know what I mean? So this is how I'm trying to trick my way around asking that. Was it waitress money? You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom.
I think one thing to think about too, no matter what age you are, you're young when they say, let's go on this tour, this basically international world tour.
I'll just say it. I was really young.
Just thinking, you weren't nervous about it or anything. You're just like, let's go for it.
I was nervous, but I was ready. I've been looking forward. I've been imagining myself doing this for so long. since I was in high school. So for me, it was like, all right, this is supposed to happen to me, you know?
Well,
So
now you're a touring musician too.
yeah, I mean, I wanted to manifest all that. So when it happened, I was like, yeah, it's supposed to.
Wow. Yeah, because I'm thinking, it is your big break in a sense,
Yeah.
right? But no more waitress money. You're making good money now.
Better money. It's not good enough though, because it's like you start as a background singer. You're not the main person in the band. You're not the director. You're not, you know what I mean? You're still. I still had to climb the ladder to make.
But did you get lavish accommodations though, or were the accommodations crappy?
Yeah, there were times that we didn't though. There was like off and on. I think.
All right. So what was the crappiest hotel you stayed in, and what was the nicest hotel you stayed in?
Oh God. I think they gave us this really crappy place in Las Vegas one time that was just.
Oh, there's some bad hotels in Vegas too.
Vegas, the bad part of Vegas.
Yeah, Adlai loves staying in the bad part of Vegas. Hold on, Abby. One night, Adlai took me to this casino in Vegas. Dude, okay, Adlai, when we go to Vegas, he wants to ride the bus everywhere, the city bus. With all the vagrants and whatnot, and I'm like, can we just drive? That's first. But then we'll go into the worst neighborhood. We went to this place, Abby. We were playing dollar blackjack. Our waitress was named Betty. She was a 65-year-old black lady from like Mississippi or something, and she kept bringing us tall boys of beer. I'm like, bro, why are we at this casino, man? But anyways, is that where you stayed in that neighborhood?
Probably. I don't remember the neighborhood, but it sounds like it. It was just like, but it wasn't with Alvaro, just so you know. It was with another. Who was it? It was with
Menudo. F those guys. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't. You know what? I'd rather not say who the artist was because then it's gonna get back.
Yeah, don't get bit on the butt for that, dude. There ain't no reason. You can just tell us about the hotel. We ain't asking you to drop a dime.
Yeah, I don't want to. Okay. I won't say. Yeah, it was another artist, but yeah, it was.
Well, now, real quick, Adlai, I'm sorry for making fun of your Las Vegas.
Dude, hey, I'm proud of that.
Good. All right. So it was a crappy hotel. What does this hotel look like? How crappy was it? Tell us about it.
Crappy was it?
Yeah.
No cockroaches, but there might as well have been because it just felt like one was gonna pop out. It was just bad. I mean, honestly, the worst one was in El Salvador. We were somewhere in Central America, and I just remember that one. And we, I don't know. I got a story I'll tell you in a moment. We went from a 5-star hotel, and something went wrong with our flights. They didn't have our tickets back, and things like that would happen, unfortunately, with certain certain management. I won't say that.
Okay.
Janky promoters. That's what she's saying. Yeah.
Promoters, and so half the band didn't have any way to get home. And we're stuck there in this really beautiful hotel. And everybody's like, well, we have to stay another night because we don't have flights home. And they're trying to fix everything. And I remember this is a different artist, by the way. And so one of the guys says, okay, well, we're going to go look for another place to stay. And you're going to have to reimburse us. And, we dealt with that. So we ended up staying at this really crappy place, too, that day. But, it was just going from 5-star to whatever
no stars. No stars.
And no stars. It's like I'm signing autographs one night, and the next night I'm sleeping in a really crappy place. So it's just
my gosh.
Didn't go. But,
have you ever felt like when we were in one of them South American countries? Did you ever feel like cartel scared or no?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Let's hear about that. Come on, tell us some stories. What do you got?
Actually, not even cartel. More like political guerrero types.
Oh no.
There was a time when we had a concert and. I won't mention the artist again because it's so we had a show and the concert's over. We get in our bus. The bus is supposed to take us straight to the hotel, and some guy gets in and starts driving us away, and we think, okay, that's our driver, right? And it turns out it's some strange guy who's totally drunk who decided to just take us for a ride. I don't know.
What the heck?
We're in there, and we end up in the middle of the jungle.
What country is this? What country are you in?
We're, oh God.
Bolivia?
If I tell you what country we're in, the artist is gonna know, and it's gonna get back because
okay. What's that?
We'll just say it's Bolivia then.
Okay, Bolivia.
Sure. Then it wasn't Bolivia. Good. Okay, we'll call it Bolivia though.
And so this country is having political issues at the time, right? There's been assassinations, there's things going on.
Gorillas and all that stuff.
And so there's gorillas in the jungle. Like,
Oh no.
they call them gorillas, but they're soldiers. And so, and half the band's American. They don't speak Spanish, and the other half is Latino or bilingual. And so we end up in the middle of the jungle, and we find out this guy's not our driver. It's like, "Donde vamos? Where are we? Oh my God!" And so this guy's driving, and so he stops because these soldiers come out of the hills with these big old Uzis, and we don't know what the heck's going on. It's just like they're just there. They're just there, and so we figure, without going into too much detail, somehow, I don't even know how it happened, but we were praying, and I told the American guys, don't speak Spanish, just in case they're anti-American or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think I would get home. I thought I was going to die, and my parents would never see me again. That was the kind of situation we were in. Luckily, without going into what happened in detail, I don't know how they found us, because they found us. The manager somehow found us, paid him off. Had to give him a whole bunch of money. I saw that happening there. And then they got rid of the driver. Boy, they kicked his butt outside, and he was gone.
That's scary.
And we got a new driver, and we finally went back to the hotel. But between the point where the soldiers came out and the time we left, I was just thinking, okay, this is it. I'm never gonna get out of this. Like this, we were thinking this is over.
Dude, I thought you were gonna tell us, and then we started singing to them, and they knew who we were, so they were fans, and they let us go. I thought that's what you were gonna tell us.
Well, see, the cool thing is that when they saw us all decked out, we're all dressed up, we're there, we're with such and such artists, and they were just like, oh, okay, that was impressive enough, I think, for them to kind of leave us alone. So I think that was part of why we survived so well. If we had been just regular tourists, I think something would have really gone wrong.
And the point of that story is, Adelaide, never trust Luis Miguel when you're on tour. That's the beginning and the end of it. Just kidding, Abby. She didn't say that. That was me saying that. All right.
But that would be very scary. No question.
How do we get to becoming a music teacher? After the gorillas kidnap you, you're like, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to teach.
Otherwise, I got burnt out. I was actually really trying to make it cross over to the English market, and it was not easy. And I got sort of how an actor gets sort of typecasted.
Yeah.
They sort of did that with me. Like, oh no, she's just a background singer. I'm like, no, I'm a writer. Look, I have music. Look, I can do this. I can do that. And they wouldn't let me. The people in power that I was trying to convince that I could do more as a writer, as a performer, as an artist, didn't really give me that shot. They just wanted me like, no, you're going to help this artist. We're going to hire you to do this and that. And they didn't let me grow. I really got tired of the politics, the propositions that were against what I believe in, things like that. As a woman, I didn't want to cross any lines like that. I didn't play that game. And because I didn't play that game, I didn't really make it that far. But I have my dignity. I can say that. You know what I mean? I'm good. Like, I'm okay. And I knew I was going to get to do it my way eventually. So I got burnt out. I got tired of the bullshit. It really got bad. And then I got a job at the Musicians Union in Hollywood, and I started teaching at a Plaza de la Raza down in Lincoln Heights, and I thought I started making some money in town. I said, okay, I'm going to stop. So I stopped touring, and then I met somebody that I married and had 2 kids with, and I said, well, I'm not going to go out of town anymore, not for a while. I mean, that was a turning point in my life when I had my 2 boys, and I said, I'm going to raise my kids. I'm not going to be one of those musician mothers that is only home, part of the year, because that what was going to happen. My whole career was based on touring at the time.
Yeah.
Had I, I would have never raised my kids. I would have never seen them, and who knows, and I'm glad I made that sacrifice. So it was cool. It was cool. So that's when I got into full-time teaching, and I did all that. And my ex-husband is a professional musician too. So, it turned into something that was, for me, it was the perfect thing for me to do at the time. And I knew I was going to be able to come back. But I never stopped writing. I never stopped performing. I was the choir director here and the music director there, and I was still writing music and I was making kids songs, and I was, so I still had I was still being creative. I never let it go, and I still had my studio. So it's okay. Like, it's okay to take that break, and it really helped me to focus on sort of a rethinking the whole music plan. Like, what am I going to do with my music life once I'm ready to go back out again? And well, here I am.
All right. So now, what inspires you to come back to being, in the spotlight of music? Because, like you said, you were already doing music. You know what I mean? Like, what inspires you to come into the spotlight of music, if you will?
You mean from being in it and then not, and then now getting back?
Exactly.
It expressing something that I need to express. Like, I have this passion for music creation that I need to share, and I really want to get it out there. I have a message. Every song that I'm putting out this year is very, very deep and close to my heart, about personal experiences that I know millions of people can probably relate to. And I'm a survivor of a lot of things I haven't mentioned. And they're going to basically talk about that. This first song that I just released has to do with this new chapter in my life where I went through hell and back without talking about the hell in detail. I'm a survivor of certain types of abuse.
Talk to us about the single. The single's called Higher, correct?
It's
Flying.
called
Flying. I apologize.
And so the song's talking about, it's all in the past now. It's all over. I'm good. I'm not going to cry about it anymore. I'm not going to focus on that. I'm on to bigger, better things. I think I'm healed in a lot of ways. I worked really hard on myself to get past certain things that I experienced that were negative. And I think this music is my message to other people, saying, you know what? I did it. I'm okay. I'm all right.
Now, who are you working with on this project? Is this everything are you launching everything yourself? Is it completely independent?
No. It depends on the song. This particular one, I had two partners partner up with. Alan Glass is a good friend of mine who used to hire me for a lot of sessions when I was younger. And he moved to Europe, and one day during COVID, when everything shut down, he said, hey, why don't we write music together? And he sent me a whole bunch of tracks and said, hey, pick one and then let's write some music. And there was the track that you're hearing, the background tracks, he had already like a minute. It just caught my attention. I said, oh, wow, I want to really do something for myself with it. And he said, yeah, go for it. And then I developed a song over that I loved. And I said, okay, I have a message. And if this is my first release, I want to talk about this new life I have. Yay, moving forward. And Nato Lopez, I found him. I needed an engineer to mix and master. And I found him through just asking lots of different people, and somehow I ended up meeting him, and he's just amazing. Helped me rearrange it and gave me a lot of guidance as far as developing the sound that it has now. And then I wrote the lyrics and all that. But the three of us worked on it together and produced it together. And but the lyrics and what I'm talking about and singing about and the melody came from the heart.
That's nice.
Quick shout out too, because Danny P was checking in, so shout out to Danny P. And hey now, and Joseph Moreno says respect for putting yourself out there. Listen to the sample, great message, nice vocal harmonies too, great track also. Yeah,
thank you, Joseph. Thanks.
And there's more than just the sample out there too. You have the full track out there too, don't you? Or no?
On all streaming platforms, it's out. You can find it anywhere: Apple, Spotify, YouTube.
Now, our homeboy Mellow Man Ace linked us up with you. How were you involved with Mellow?
Mellow and I go way back. He hired me to do. Well, actually, I worked with Cypress Hill a long time ago when I was a little kid, and
when you were a little kid.
and so that's when I met them the first time. But years later, he called me to do a session for the Ten La Fe, a song called Ten La Fe, and it ended up in that movie Crazy Beautiful, the soundtrack. Right. And so it did really well, and we became friends ever since. And not too long ago, a couple years ago, I wrote the hook to another song of his, "Summertime."
Okay.
And so we've been in touch, but now it's even better because he hired me to. I started teaching him congas. He wanted to learn how to play congas.
Oh,
That's great.
7-8 months ago, and he practiced his butt off. He got really good, and so he said, "Hey, I want to add this to my show." And so he hired me to do a show. Now we're performing together. You should come watch the show. It's really good.
We want to. I'm just in Bakersfield, so I'm an hour and a half
I'm
away.
on the East Coast.
He's
Abby,
far.
So yeah, that's
Well, maybe sometime we're going to be in Chicago tomorrow. We're leaving in the morning for Chicago.
yeah, that's a far drive from Pittsburgh.
Still far.
And I run a business, so I don't have a lot of
Closer, we'll let you know. We're closer, but yeah, it's been fun performing with him. It's a lot of fun to be back on stage. After my.
And just going back real quick to the Cypress Hill thing, what were you working on with them?
I think they were sampling things. They didn't even use what I sang.
Oh my goodness.
Also, you submitted some stuff, and they just okay.
Yeah, it was more like I think they were just trying to get different ideas for a certain song, and they were trying all kinds of different people at the time. So
You don't think they were just trying to get good-looking Mexican girls to hang out with them? Because
that was it. They needed to be nice.
that would probably be a trick that I would do if I were a rapper. All right, well, Abby, that's a wonderful story. Everybody, I want you to go check out that new single. She just dropped it. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be a hot one. But Abby, how we end the show is Adlai reads us some news and we make fun of the celebrities. You're more than welcome to not do so. I'm going to, but we won't besmirch your good name. Adlai, what's the news, baby? What do we got?
All right, I'm going to start going back in time a little bit about the old school. There's a story out now about Vanilla Ice, and he's called out as a liar. Now, Suge's pal says he wrote all of Ice Ice Baby. Rap music's first song to go #1 on Billboard was Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby, and it's still one of its most controversial. It's still one of its most controversial as one of Ice's collaborators comes forward claiming the rapper's a total fraud. Now, Mario Chocolate Johnson, the man Suge Knight infamously appointed as co-writer of the eventual blockbuster track, went off in a new interview exposing what he says was Ice's true contribution to his debut record, which was nothing. Mario ripped Ice, a.k.a. Rob Van Winkle, saying, quote, he said he wrote Ice Ice Baby at 16. He didn't write no parts of that song. Now, I'm just thinking it went #1. There's a lot of money involved with that track, as we know. But from the hip-hop world, it wasn't really a respected track. So, Abby, do you think it's okay to maybe admit that you didn't write that song at this point, even though you made a bunch of money off of it?
You can make a bunch of money, but you got to be honest about who wrote what, because it's always going to come back. And someone's always going to say, you know what? I did that. What do you especially when there's a lot of money, they're going to come out of the woodwork. Hey, I produced that. Why didn't I get credit and whatnot? So.
And this is 30-something years later. I mean, this track's from the late 80s. So and obviously, I mean, I work at an old school station with Danny P, and we still play the track on occasion and stuff too. So the 30 years of royalties, there's still money coming in on that. And it's thinking, I don't know. Mike, do you think Vanilla Ice is lying that he didn't write any of it, or did he actually write it?
I don't think Vanilla Ice wrote it.
Really?
No, because here's why. You know about the story with Suge, right?
About getting the contract signed and getting the rights to the song.
Do you know that story, Abby?
No.
So Suge held Vanilla Ice over a ledge in a hotel room.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So and it was like a 20-story. Yeah, even Vanilla Ice told the story. So like it wasn't just Suge told the story, because I could see that, right? Suge tells a lot of stories, and it's like, and God bless Suge Knight. I'm not saying anything about you, sir. If you have any problems, please take him to Adelaide. Don't take him to me. I don't want to get shot. But that being said, Suge told a lot of stories. But when Vanilla Ice told the story and Suge told the story, I mean, how is it not true? You know what I mean? But here's the truth that I think. You have a songwriter right here in front of you. If you wrote a #1 hit and someone's holding you outside of a window, I feel like you'd let that person let you go. I feel like you wouldn't sign it over. What do you think, Abby?
Yeah. Oh no, I want to live.
Really? You'd sign it over?
I mean, if he's about to drop me, yeah, you're gonna die. What? You're gonna die just because you didn't agree with it?
I don't know, man.
Just a note too. Now that whole urban legend, whether it's true or not, even Suge Knight says, that whole story is embellished. So I don't. Again, who knows? I wasn't there.
He told that story though. That's the thing. He told.
So, as a writer, I've been a ghostwriter for people that I NDA I can't say anything about, but I got paid well to write something for, say, for example, an artist that made a lot of money on something that maybe I wrote the hook to or whatever. I can never talk about it. I can't ever,
All right, you're acting all skittish about this, but let's be honest now.
Well, as a
Abby,
writer,
have you ever written something for somebody as a ghostwriter and it went up to like number one? You don't have to tell us the names. You don't have to tell us what year it was. Nothing. Has that ever happened to you?
not number one, but close.
What
Made
does that
money.
feel like listening to a song you wrote when you're driving down the road and it's not, and no one can acknowledge that it's yours? That has got to be insane.
Yeah, it is. It is, especially when you're struggling financially and you're trying to get by and you're still, listening and, because there were some, even when you make it, when you think you make it, there's times where it's just, there's nothing going on. So, you make a lot of money and then you don't make anything for a while. So it came out, that particular song came out during a time that I was not doing well. I was still kind of struggling. And oh man, it hurt. It hurt.
Wait, let me ask you this. Was it a flat fee or was it royalties coming in after?
It was flat fee. It was like, you know what? Here's your money. Thank you. You got to sell your rights to do the gig. And I was hungry at the time, surviving. So I did it. I needed the money. I needed to survive. So, but the cool thing is I was like, you know what? I'm that good. Oh my God.
I want to know.
The cool thing is that I know that I have the potential to do it again, but this time around, do it, get the credit and get the royalties. And
is that person going on tour, or did that person go on tour because of that song?
She wrote Huey Lewis's "The Power of Love," Adlai. I didn't want to tell you.
Oh my
but
gosh,
it was a big
huge.
hit in the Back to the Future movies. He tours on it. She the reason why they wanted her to write "I Want a New Drug," and she said this sounds too much like Ghostbusters, so she wouldn't write that one. But
That's true.
no, that's got to be nuts though to hear your song on the radio. You wrote it and you signed an NDA, so you're not going to tell anybody. That is bananas. If you know what, I'll tell you right now, if I had like cancer or something like that and I'd signed an NDA, I'd write a book right as I'm dying. Because it's like, all right, well, I'm going out anyways. Guess what?
I think I'll do that too. Maybe I've got a lot of secrets to.
You know what, Abby? Seriously, you know what would be a smart idea? I'm not even joking you. You know what would be the best idea? You find as many people that you can find that have signed NDAs and start a podcast. Ooh. And you guys just on your podcast just break it. Guess who really wrote What's Love Got to Do with It? This lady right here. You know what I mean? Like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, but then they'd all get in trouble. They all get sued for exposing you.
You know how much money you're gonna make on that podcast? You'll pay that chump change. You'll be like, sure. Here, guess what, sucker? You didn't pay me no royalties. Y'all should know, man. You want to keep your mistress shut. You gotta rent her an apartment, and you didn't do that, sucker. So guess what? Boom. That's not his baby. It's my baby. Boom. That's how you do it, Abby.
Oh man, I don't know. I gotta
wait till this song becomes a hit. And then do that next. I'm telling you, everybody in the music business right now is a weirdo, Abby. You're too normal. You can't be as normal as you are. So you got to start doing some weirdo stuff. The weirdo thing you could do to start yourself out is the NDA podcast. And here's the thing: at the end of the whole podcast, right? Never rat yours out and walk away from it. But you got to get a 6ix9ine tattooed on your face, though. I don't know if that's going to work for you. But
I don't know.
Adlai, what do you think of my business plan for Abby?
I think that's a great idea, but I'm just thinking of two things I think about. One thing, so there's absolutely no recourse at all for you to get credit on that thing. I mean, did you have a lawyer look at the paperwork, or you just like, I need the 10 grand or whatever it was amount it was?
I've had lawyers look into 2 or 3 occasions where I wrote. Gosh, it's hard to talk. I don't even know if I should say anything. There was another occasion where one of my arrangements of something ended up on a national TV show. And the supervisor on that studio, whatever. It came out and I got a lawyer to find out, well, what rights do I have? And basically the lawyer said, well, do you have the money to go against this huge company that will go against you, so.
All right, Abby. So now I've revised my new business plan for you. This is how you do it. You do the NDA podcast, right? But listen. You got to get a voice changer. You don't say the name of the person that did it, right? So it's just like, hi, how's it going?
Yeah, it's
I
all,
wrote The Power of Love from Huey Lewis. And so like, but then the face got to be all fuzzed out like that too, right? And you interview him. And then here's the thing: every week you hint that you're going to rat out your NDA. You look at the camera every week, and you're like, I wrote a lot of hit songs. You might have heard them in this year, and then play like 4 songs that you definitely didn't write, right? You might have heard them in this year, and then play like 4 songs you definitely didn't write. But one of these days, I'm going to tell y'all what I wrote. But today, we're going to hear from Catherine. You go through the whole thing, right? You do like 30 podcasts, 100 podcasts, whatever it is. Monetize the crap out of it, and then bounce. You bounce without telling yours. On the last episode, go, guess what, sucker? I wasn't going to tell you mine anyways. Then you flip off the camera, and you get a 6ix9ine tattoo on your face. I don't know about the 6ix9ine tattoo though, Abby. I don't know if it's gonna look good on you.
Random people at that point and just say, you know who that is? You know what she wrote? It could be anybody off the street. It'd be great.
I don't know. But here's the thing: they'll tell the real story. So the artists who knew that they hoodwinked you, poor souls, they'll start getting nervous. They'll be like, "Oh my goodness!" Then they'll start getting questions. Hey, Mick Jagger, you didn't write I Can't Get No Satisfaction. You know what I mean? Mick Jagger's like, no, man, I didn't write that racist song. What was that racist song that they got all in trouble for? They did Brown Sugar. I didn't write that Brown Sugar song. That's what really happened. I didn't write that song. That's what he'll be doing.
Oh, jeez. Hey, Abby.
Yeah.
So you're saying nobody knows but you and the artist. No, your husband doesn't know. Your kids don't know. Your mom doesn't. Nobody knows.
I never told my ex-husband. I don't think I told. I did tell my best friend. I mean,
he never asked you. Your ex-husband never asked you what the hit song was you wrote.
It wasn't a long marriage. It was a short marriage, and by the time that was over, I started doing more work of that type. So it wasn't part of the conversation. You know what I mean?
Dude, it could be like a Vegas I'm drunk marriage. I would try to ask that question out of you. I'll be like, I know you wrote hit songs. Start telling me.
I mean, if I had a bunch of hit songs,
it's like, we're going to be a no tomorrow, Mike. I don't care, Abby. I'm your husband now. You better obey the Bible and tell me what songs you wrote.
Oh, man. I mean, no, I don't have a bunch of hit songs out there. Trust me. I mean, there's a few things out there that I can say, yeah, that's me. But guess how many hit songs me and Adlai got? 0. And Adlai used to write some interesting music when we were in college. Nothing I would repeat in front of a lady, however. All right, Adlai, what's our next story, dude?
Oh my gosh, dude, that's so good. Wait, we got to get Vanilla Ice's comment real quick. On his Twitter, he said, Suge Knight garbage. Now put your fanny pack on and dancing shoes, and let's kick it.
Nice.
So that's what he said.
Nice, because he's like, guess what, bro? I'm staying on TGS. I'm not getting in a rap battle. Like, you are very scary, and you already held me over a ledge and took my rights. Like, we're good. You know what I mean? Good for you, Vanilla Ice. Stay out of the drama. All right, come on. What's our next story?
Okay, now here we go. We're moving to just a funny, weird story. There was a Florida man arrested after repeatedly asking 9/11 to arrest Joe Biden. Now, Jacob Philbeck called 911 3 times in 1 hour, asking that, quote, President Biden needed to be placed in prison and El Chapo needed to be free. Now, the Florida man, he's facing charges of misusing 911 after he allegedly placed repeated calls asking law enforcement officers to arrest President Joe Biden. Jacob Philbeck, 29, arrested on May 8th after making these series of calls to the system requesting that Biden be arrested and former drug kingpin El Chapo Guzman be freed.
Wow. Was this 29? A 29-year-old did that?
29.
Is he Mexican? I mean, is he like all Mexican?
I bet you he's not Mexican at all. I bet you he's a hillbilly.
Jacob Philbeck.
Yeah, dude. He's a hillbilly from West Virginia who's probably in some sort of weird militia. You got to understand something, Abby. I don't live far from the Ozarks. So Pittsburgh, yeah, it's a metropolitan city. But you know what I mean? But they call it the Paris of the Ozarks because I'm telling you, like I live in a metropolitan city. But my shops that I run are out in the boroughs, out in the far suburbs. And it's not like LA suburbs. LA is just a giant clump from Riverside to Santa Barbara. There's nowhere else that's like that. So those guys, like, dude, people come into my shop and they tell me the craziest, like, listen, man, I'm using silver now and gold. So you're gonna start taking silver? I'm like, no, dude, I take American dollars. Well, Biden is a robot, and you should know. I'm like, holy God, yeah, bro. Listen to this craziness. So the kid that works for me, his name is Gavin, right? He's a young mixed guy. You know, he's half black, half white guy. He used to be in the Navy, but very respectful, very, very hardworking, blah, blah, blah. These militia idiots keep inviting him to join all the time. They're like, you got military experience. You can join our militia. I'm like, are you out of your mind, dude? Like, I don't even think you guys like black people in the militia. Like, are you trying to get one so people won't think you're bigots?
Probably.
But I'm telling you, that's the type of cat that's calling this 911. What say you, Adley?
I think it's just it's Florida, so weird stuff always happens
Hillbillies.
there. Yeah, but two, it's crazy because 911 called him back and said, "Hey, look, this is a non-emergency situation. 911's for emergencies." So what does he do? Keeps calling. Keeps saying the same thing. And the cops finally show up, around 6 a.m. the next day. And guess what? He was on the phone with 911.
Oh my gosh.
But that call cut short because he was arrested. So you're just thinking. But you know what? He's in the news. We're talking about him. And I don't know.
That's probably what he wanted anyway. Like,
yeah.
He got in the news. Now that it's out. Now everybody knows about it.
Do you think he got the nightstick? You think the cops put the nightstick on that guy? What do you guys think, honestly?
The cops in Florida, like, you know what, bro? We feel the same way.
Not at all, dude. Not at all. I guarantee they showed up and he was like, it's my right as an American citizen. You guys aren't following the Constitution. And they're like, bro, you need to knock it off, man, because we don't want to get all wild about this. And then he just started going nutty and they're like, oh, I'm so glad I get to use my pepper spray today. Got him right in the face, dude. And then one of them was like, watch this, bro. Pinata time. Bang. And they just started. I don't know if that happened.
Oh, there was no mention of guns, right? So it wasn't,
I got to think a Florida cop's going to give this guy one in the ribs, at least.
Yeah. Because we know, Florida, every time there's a news story out of Florida, it's something crazy, something weird. And it's just usually meth's involved or drugs or whatever. So the cops probably at some point are just like, we're going to hurt this dude because I just can't do it anymore. Poor cops out there.
Dude, what's your opinion of this guy? Because I think he's like a weird militia guy. What do you guys think about this guy?
He probably is. I mean,
tinfoil hat type dude?
Yeah.
Probably.
But believing of all kinds of...
the real question, Abby, is does El Chapo need to be freed?
I don't think so.
Well, that I agreed with. The Biden thing I had a problem with.
No. There's a lot of dead people who would, agree with me. So, yeah.
All right, come on. You got to give us the scoop on this because this had to have happened to you because you were not that you're not an attractive lady now, but when you were young, you were very attractive, hot Latina in these neighborhoods. You're going to tell me a cartel guy never came up to you and said, I'll buy you a house or something?
Well, it was.
Come on, give it to us.
There was a gig where that was very interesting. They flew us into Mexico into some I don't know. We got to Mexico City, and then they picked us up in these limos, and we went to this beautiful ranch in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know where we were. Okay, so me and the girls and the musicians. It was this beautiful place. I mean, in the middle of nowhere, horses. It was like a postcard, a magazine photograph. I mean, I was just clicking. I've got the photos that I will not show you, but anyway, it was just, I was thinking, wow, okay, obviously they're wealthy, but this is beyond normal wealth. This is, so I was thinking, well, it's probably cartel, And so the girls and I were thinking, well, maybe, as long as they're nice, hey, let's just do the gig and get out of here, right? And so as the, we did the show, and the guests were all kinds of, the wealthiest and politicians and all sorts of people of that type. And I'm thinking, okay, this is pretty cool. Everything's fine. And what gave it away was they had a special room, a special section of the property that none of us were allowed to go into. And of course, me, I was like, well, what's in there? And
no.
what's the deal? Like, how come, And so none of us were allowed to go there. And we were just curious. So we kind of, was like, oh, let's just take a walk. And so we met some of the men that were there. They're like, oh, ¿no van señoritas que están haciendo aquí? Que no sé qué, so they're kind of trying to tell us, like, you're in the wrong area. It was kind of like one of those movies where you're like spying and they catch you down the hall or something. And so we were just like, oh no, estamos aquí nomás viendo las cosas, just we're just checking it out and blah. And so he started talking to us. He's like, oh, I'm the brother of so and such a blah blah, guy who owns, I don't, talking peacocking.
Do you remember any of the names? Were they in that Narcos TV program? Because I love that TV program.
I don't know, but he had the black cowboy hat and the boots and the whole. He looked like those characters, in those movies you watch and stuff. It's like, we just assumed, okay, he's one of them.
Yeah, man, I would.
So we were just like I said, it was there. It was evident that it was definitely there, and we were too young, and they were trying to just keep us out. Like, no, get away. You guys are from America. Like,
thank God.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Because what would happen, dude? One of those cartel guys grabbed you by the arm and like, you're my concubine now. You're not even my wife. You're like my side piece. Something. What are you gonna do? You can't argue with that. He's gonna murder your family. Yeah.
But think about it. I mean, it's there's a whole bunch of us. We're all from the United States. We're all over the place. We're watching everybody. I mean, nothing could really go down where somebody didn't see us. I mean, because we weren't all by ourselves. I mean, it was just a lot going on.
That does not bring me comfort, Abby. Trust me. It brings me zero comfort.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't, I knew that it could probably get dangerous at some point if we were all by ourselves in some area, but we just didn't do that. We weren't stupid, so.
No, it still sounds dangerous. Yeah. Doesn't it sound dangerous to you, Adlai, or no?
Yes, but at the same time, it's in the middle of nowhere.
Nowhere.
There's a bunch of even if you were like freaking out, like, oh man, we got to get out of here. You're like, there's nothing close by. You can't walk anywhere. I kind of feel like it's almost like a kidnapping setup. You know what I mean?
Dude, I would definitely not want to go to a cartel party.
We're driving an hour and a half out of town to the middle of nowhere, and there's armed guards.
Wait, how banging was the party?
This entrance, that's what gave it away at the very, very start.
Just guys like this holding guns, and you're like, all right, let's have some fun.
How phenomenal was that party, though? Could you imagine going to a cartel party?
The party was awesome.
It had to be off the chain.
We had a great time. It was great. It was like I said, we were not allowed to go in this other section of the party. And there was a lot going, it was loud music there too and everything, but nope, the prohibit. You couldn't get in there.
That's where the cockfighting was.
Cocaine cockfighting was,
yeah. It was probably, that was probably the real party. That was where everything was probably really going on, and I don't want, who knows?
Who knows?
Long Island whitefish.
Yeah, well.
All right, what's our next?
No, Abby knows that. Oh
what's
my
our
God.
Next story?
Yeah, but it was cool.
When you were married, did you ever say to your husband when you get in arguments, man, I did, dude, what are we doing here? I used to do music at these huge these huge parties down in Mexico, and man, yeah, I don't know. I
thought you were going a completely different direction. I thought you were going to say, would you ever get in arguments with Eric's husband and say, I personally know cartel? Is that how you want to end up? Is that how you want to end up?
There were moments when I should have said that. I'll just say that,
I could have married a cartel prince, but I married you, bro.
If I wanted that, it would have been easy. It would have been.
Oh my God! Could you imagine how horrible that life would be? Oh, you'd have ulcers by like 22.
Was your last question? But real quick, we'll get the next story. Was your ex? Is he famous?
He's not famous, but he's a very well-known guitarist in his own right. Finger picking.
Okay.
I don't know what the style is. It's a very specific style, not a big genre, but it's like heavy.
He's Adlai. He's gonna be famous for being the dummy that divorced Abby before she got mad famous again. That's what he's gonna be famous for. You like that? All right, come on, man. Give me the story.
All right. All right, here we go. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but gas super expensive. And there's a guy that's fed up with the gas. And he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop doing it. Stop selling gas. He just said, I'm fed up with it. He considers it these high prices, attempts by oil companies to fleece customers with outrageously high prices at the pump, and he stopped selling gas as a protest. Now he's had this gas station for nearly 50 years, and he drained his tanks this month and says, I'm not going to refill them. He says, quote, I don't want to be a part of it anymore. This is the biggest ripoff that has ever happened to people in my lifetime.
Is he still selling chips and stuff though, and pop and stuff like that, or just
he's good? Well, it does say that says. Well, he says it's unlikely he will be able to remain open for long without selling gas.
So he's going to lose his business.
Yeah, and he says dealing with the gas company, they don't think through their pricing policies anymore. I've served their product, but I refuse to do it anymore because they're only getting richer. I don't know. But Mike, it's $5 a gallon where you're at. I'm at 6 something. Abby, you're in LA, so
it's 6, 7,
get to $7 a gallon.
How much is it, Abby? How much is it there?
It was like $6.50 something just yesterday. So
like, is that the Arco price, or is that the
Arco,
like
Chevron
price?
Yeah, that's like the Chevron price. Arco's like $5.60, something like that.
Oh, you're cheaper than Bakersfield, actually.
What does Arco put in their gas that they can be so cheap? I don't understand.
Water.
I wonder about that. It's like, well, why?
They put water in it.
You think they put water in it?
Water down, yeah. Don't you?
Bro, you can't be talking that way about big oil, bro. They're gonna come down on this podcast and shut us down, dude. Come on.
But it is cheaper. It is always. What does Chevron put in it that makes it so much better?
Oh, they put they call it all these different names, but it's like got special stuff that makes your engine run.
Yeah,
better.
Techron and all this. Yeah.
Techron. Okay.
Yeah.
I still go to the cheap place.
That's like remember back in the 80s, or Abby wouldn't remember this, but you remember back in the 80s, it was like Clorettes had Retsin. You remember that? Abby, you don't remember that.
I remember that.
But yeah, it's like, what's Retsin, bro? Retsin ain't doing nothing for me.
I don't know what it is. Yeah.
You know?
You'd brag to the chicks, it's got Retsin. And you pop one in your mouth. Yeah.
Now, if you guys see one of those stickers with Joe Biden says, I did that, do you laugh or do you try to take it off? I laugh. I think it's funny. I'm not going to lie to you guys.
I take a selfie with it.
Did you take a selfie with it?
No, but I would now thinking about it too. And it does get me a little bit angry. I'm that dude. I'm like, I go to the cheapest place I can find in Vegas to find $1 blackjack. Yes, I get mad at $6 a gallon gas. So it just makes me angry.
Yeah, but the whole thing, it's ridiculous. The whole thing, I think, in my opinion, it's we only get 20% of oil from Russia, and they're blaming the price hike on this whole thing with Ukraine, right? That's why this is
a lot of it. Yeah, that's another piece. Yeah,
but we don't really need their oil to survive. We get it mostly from Latin America and other countries. So why are they raising the prices?
And we could drill here. I don't understand why we're not drilling here.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, just drill, man. Get this over with. Knock off these high prices.
It shouldn't affect us this much. We have plenty of import from some other places in the world, So I think it's just corporate greed. And
I feel like this poor president has pooped his pants worse than any other president, man. This poor
literally.
This poor dude, I'm serious, man. This dude was not ready for this. Like, he came in, like, I think he thought it was going to be a lot easier. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you go take a test and you study for it, kind of, and you get there, you think you're going to kick that test butt, and you start reading that test, you're like, bro, I don't even know what these words mean. Like, how am I supposed to take this test? I feel like that's what happened to Biden when he got into office. He was like, oh, I got this, man. I remember how it was last time. He gets there, he's like, what's going on around here, man? People are rioting. We got, what's this COVID-19 stuff? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, this is another world. It's another world now.
Every day, dude, that guy's got to go home sad. I don't care. Adelaide thinks he's not cognizant enough to be sad, but I think he's sad. I'm always like, dude, this dude's got to be sad every day when he goes home.
Yeah, I don't think he's that aware, and not to be all political, whatever. But I'm thinking, at what point does gas get to you where you're like, I'm not driving anymore? I can't.
I think we're already there.
And by the way, everybody who's watching, all you lefties that like to be in the music business, Abby didn't say none of this stuff. It's only me and Adelaide. Abby told me she loves the Democrat Party and that everything the Democrats do are awesome. So that way she can.
No.
She needs to further her career. Hey, you got to further that career. All them lefties are in the music business. So yeah. So listen. This is me. This is just me and Adlai.
No political affiliation right now.
Exactly. I'll be honest. I have zero political affiliation. Now, that being said, I feel like as a minority, you should have a pass to be able to say whatever you want about politics, because you can't put me in the Trump camp and say I'm some sort of white racist, and you can't put me in the Biden camp and tell me I'm some sort of white liberal. It's like, look, man, I just want what's logically sound. That's all I want.
Exactly. That's why I don't choose a party, because there's it's a mess right now. It's a mess in so many levels. But I think it's I'm going to vote for whatever logically works for me and my people, and is going to benefit the country. But whatever makes sense. There's so many things that just are out there. I don't know. It's not logical, like you said. It's just not logical. Why are people doing? Why is there no gun reform? Just
well, and I also don't think
shootings. Oh my God, that's a whole other issue.
I don't think there's anybody really looking out for our people. I don't think that. Not even just minorities. I mean, the working class. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you right now, I got white dudes that work for me that are from the hood, and like they're just as screwed as somebody who was brown from the hood. Like, granted, I pay a living wage. I want these boys to be able to take care of their families. I always say, if you don't buy your wife a nice purse, then you and I are gonna have a problem. That type of stuff. I tell the boys that type of stuff. But that being said, I don't think the government's looking out for us. I think they're looking out for the 1% all the time, no matter if you're a Democrat, no matter if you're a Republican. You are looking out for the 1%, and you've been lying to us, trying to pretend like you care about us. That's what I personally think. Now, I'm not saying anybody else needs to sign off on that who has a professional job that might be influenced by you agreeing or disagreeing with that statement, because I don't have a professional job. I don't have my own business, so I can say all kinds of wild stuff. But that being said, it sure seems that way. When you see like this massive wealth transfer that's happened in the past 12 to 18 months, and it's runaway inflation that's really affecting the middle class and the poor, and it's like, all right, well, do you care about us, or are you still looking out for your corporate interests? Because I kind of feel like you're still looking out for your corporate interests, personally. I don't know. I guess I got real political. Sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, since COVID, the richer have gotten richer, and the middle class is starting to disappear, and there's more poverty now. So I don't know, but it sure looks that way. Since COVID, it's so evident now. I mean, all these homeless people.
And we're about to go
everything.
into global famine in Sri Lanka right now. They're in a national famine in Sri Lanka right now. Yeah,
People start fighting for food. That's scary. Yeah. And think about this too, even with gas as high as it is, when I go to Sam's Club to fill up, there's a long ass line there. So people are still buying it, angry, but still buying it. And we saw when COVID started, gas was dropping down cheap, but nobody was going nowhere. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I almost feel like if you're a gas executive and you've got Biden and the Democrats in office, they're pushing back. They're trying to fight you. They're trying to just get rid of gas, go straight EV, electrical vehicles, and all that stuff. So you're like, this could be my last ditch effort to make some money. So let's jack this up. Look at all the money we lost during COVID when nobody was driving, nobody was flying, nobody was moving anywhere. We weren't making anything except maybe off the Instacart drivers. You know what I mean? That was pretty much it. So now we've got a chance to make up some of that money. So LA, be ready for $10 a gallon gas. And there will be people paying for it, sadly, because if the Democrats win come in the next couple of years, they're going to get even more difficult to work with when it comes to using gas, and they're going to be pushing the EVs. So.
Here's the thing. I think that's the thing is they want everybody to go electric, but then the lithium, there's not enough to make all electric cars for all of us, and the price of an electric car, it's like, look, I'm not paying that, so. If you want to pay for it for me, then word, bro, I'll go electric. But until then, guess what?
They're making, I had an electric car for 2 years.
She's an elite.
Kidding.
Well, I'm kidding.
No, my car broke down, and my neighbor had an electric car, a little Soul Kia electric. And he was like, you know what? Why don't you take over the payments? I was gonna get my wife something different, and I see your car just broke down. I was like, yeah, cool. So I had it, and everybody should drive electric. That was such an eye opener, man. It was. I didn't pay for gas for 2 years. It was amazing.
Wait, what neighborhood do you live in where your neighbor has an electric car that he's just giving away?
Well, he's not giving it away.
I know, but what neighborhood are you in now? You don't have to give us your address or nothing, but what portion of LA are you in now?
I
know you ain't in
you off the
Linwood.
405?
No, Los Angeles. I'm in the 90039 area. You know, Los Feliz, Atwater Village.
Okay. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got a cool neighbor. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Okay.
No, but they helped me out at a time that I needed it. You know?
No, I'm not saying they shouldn't have done that.
Great.
I'm not an anti-electric car guy. Like, I would like to have an electric motorcycle. There's a Swedish motorcycle company, and I've had my eye on this motorcycle for about 7 months. But it's that I'm 50 years old. Am I supposed to be riding a motorcycle thing that keeps going through my head?
Oh, that's never ending.
Yeah. So I'm 50, and here's the rub. I got a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old. And like, I feel like I gave up skateboarding this year. I could be wrong, but like, we used to go skateboarding together. And then I started thinking to myself, I got to be here for a couple more years for these guys. So I don't think I can keep doing this wild stuff. That being said, the electric motorcycle, I've had my eye on. But I also think that like, you just can't push this hard. Like, there's this idea of like, well, tomorrow we'll be all electric. And it's like, but we're not going to be. So we need to have a bridge to get from not going to be to where we're going to be. And here's the next thing you guys got to think about. Last quarter, 524 million new credit cards were issued.
Ooh.
Exactly. That's enough for 2 credit cards for every voting citizen in the United States. So that shows how bad inflation's gotten to where people need to borrow just to keep even at this stage.
Yeah, but I think people also need to live within their means. You know, I think we're a society where we say the more the better. You know, I think.
Abby, that's an old person's thought process. You're too young to be thinking that way. Come on now.
No, but I've been frugal, and I got how do you say? I had such a minimalistic life to survive LA, just to live in this town.
Yeah.
You know, that it stayed with me. You know, so I'm already frugal as heck. I mean,
well, yes, and you're talking to Asian people, so if you don't think we're frugal, like we're obviously frugal, like that's in the like they put that in your pacifier when you're little, when you're Asian. Every time you suck in, it's like, I'm cheap. It's like that, you know. But that being said, it's like the young people don't want to live that way. They want pancakes delivered to them. That like I make a decent living now, and I see what these young people spend on pancakes. I'm like, I don't believe I'm worth that. And if I spent that money, it wouldn't even bother my bank account. And I know you have to budget that money for them special pancakes, and you eat them every week. What is wrong with you, millennial?
I don't know.
And Abby, we can relate to you living on a low budget because we were DJs in Arizona at a radio station.
That didn't pay us very much.
If they could pay us less than minimum wage, they would have. There's no doubt about that. And we shared an apartment for like $300 a month. And I feel like we shared a toothbrush or something weird.
There was junkies in the back. There was junkies in the back of the place,
That's
Abby.
Great. That's great.
Yeah,
we shared chonies on occasion.
He makes stuff up about toothbrushes and chonies. Don't listen to that. But somebody broke up. Adlai told me when we started the podcast, right? He told me I had a radio idea one time, and he's like, Mike, I'm telling you, you had this radio idea. And he kept telling me over. I'm like, why would I have that idea? Do you want to tell her the idea, Adlai, that you kept telling me I had in radio?
This is what Mike told me, because we were the Chino brothers back in the 90s doing radio in Tucson, Arizona, working for Art LeBeau. So we got, we had a street presence. We were fairly popular. We're on the hip hop station and everything. And Mike was always pushing the envelope. He was the morning show producer, coming up with silly, funny, crazy bits all the time. I'm the night guy, the overnight guy, just kind of just cruising, you know what I mean? And he's like, but we were hitting the streets and doing the clubs and stuff. And he's like, I got this great idea for us. You know, we got to do like a photo shoot kind of layout. You know?
Oh, by the way, Abby, we worked at a Latino radio station too. Everybody's Latino except for us. That's why we were the Chino brothers.
Yeah,
All right, go ahead, Adler.
So he's all, we gotta do like a photo shoot. And I'm all, what are you thinking? I'm thinking like, you know, we'll go to a professional studio and do the, you know, whatever, you know. And he's all like, all right, we're in a limo, we're naked, and we're laying on the back seat together. And
I know. I'm like, when would I say this? I'm like, how would I come up with that? Like, well,
because we drank on occasion, so it wasn't like, you know, I mean, but I vividly remember him because he would get in. Mike's the type of dude that
I'm pretty ungay.
This wasn't a gay thing at all.
How is that not gay? You said we were gonna spoon each other naked in the back of a limousine, and this was my idea
because it was crazy. It was crazy. It was a crazy, wacky idea.
We've talked about this on the show before, Abby. It's not like we're just breaking this same breaking news. But my
attention, though, you know, people are gonna look.
I think that's what Mike was going for.
I have no idea. I couldn't imagine doing that. I could maybe think, dude, the naked part. I can't do the naked part. I'm not that proud of myself naked, dude. Like I'm not like I don't need people to see that.
And who would be the big? Was I going to be the big spoon? I was.
Bro, this is a crazy idea. Where on earth? How did I don't know how we got here.
But you didn't do it anyway, right? I mean, you didn't go.
I never even thought of it before. I'd never heard of this idea until we started this podcast. And he's telling me I was pushing it on him back when we were in radio.
Abby, you got to have that one friend that's like, we should do this or something, or thinking of crazy ideas, right?
There's always somebody, yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of like, okay. And I maybe I dreamed it, but it's very vivid in my memory bank and I was like,
so it's vivid in your bank, but he doesn't remember it.
But he doesn't remember it, so I don't know.
Abby,
I could have made it up. I don't know. But
here's the next thing. Real. I'm not going to lie to you. Adlai, Adlai, this is exactly how it happened. We're starving DJs, struggling DJs, and we lived in this crappy apartment. And this is how bad this apartment was. I had this Jeep, and it had one of the old antennas that pulled up like that. Yeah. Somebody had broken off my antenna so they could smoke crack out of it. That's how horrible of a neighborhood this was. And anyways, and we lived above this venue, so when they'd have a concert there, like you couldn't go to sleep. The music would be so loud. But yeah, we were starving and young. But Adlai, as long as you've known me, I've never been very gay. Like I'm not, like, you know what I mean?
Nothing wrong. You know, we love gay people too.
Well, and this is the next thing. I didn't even think about this. So we start working at this restaurant together called the Desert Cafe, and one of the cooks was a cross-dressing. What do they call them? The
drag queen
singers. Yeah, a drag queen.
And would sing. Yeah,
he was a drag queen.
Charles.
Okay. Then Adlai starts hanging out with their posse, right? But I don't know about all this because I'm working at a different restaurant at this point. So he's like, hey, bro, we got a gig tonight. We're going to DJ this gig tonight. I'm like, word, bro. And he's like, yeah, bro, cruise through. We're going to blow it up. I'm like, word. And I'm working at this restaurant. I'm a bus boy. I'm like 20, almost 27. Maybe I was 25. I can't remember. I was too old to be a bus boy. And all the waiters and waitresses there were like frat boys and like spoiled. And I'm just doing everything to get into radio, right? And so one of the bartenders, I was like, hey, bro, I'm DJing a gig tonight. If you want to see a real DJ, like how we really light it up, cruise through. And he's like, I'm coming. I'm like, word, bro. And he'd been hearing me brag because we were really good DJs. And I'd be like, oh, I could light up any crowd, blah, blah, blah. We show up to this party, Abby, and it's all drag queens. It's all drag queens and my DJ crew. Okay. I'm like, man, you couldn't tell me that before I invited this dude from work.
Yeah, but did you do good? You got to.
Oh, we lit it up, man.
Oh, we lit the place up. Yeah, we lit the place up. Yeah, but the dude from work wasn't too excited about that. You don't see how that would be weird for a.
He still went home. Didn't he go home with somebody?
Oh. I don't believe he went home with somebody. Yeah, like, I believe he told everybody at work. hey man, you know what Sketch did? He told me that he lights up parties, and then he took me to some gay party, and he was probably trying to hit on me. The whole time I'm telling the dude, I'm like, I had no idea, bro. I am so sorry. He's like, nah, man, but the music's hot. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, we're playing the music. Like, the music's good. That's the type of music that we play. But I had no idea it was going to turn out this way. My point in saying it is to say this. I feel like Adley's always kind of got the gay thing going here. Like, what's going on here? Like, why would you want me to be naked with you?
I didn't want it. You wanted. Sorry, Abby. We're off on a little bit of a tangent here.
Abby, what do you think? You think it was my idea, or you think it was his idea that he put in that he remembers as my idea?
I think you guys were drinking, and you both kind of like you said something, and he went like, "Hey, maybe that'll work." You know, it just when you're having fun and thinking up things, and I mean, you didn't do it anyway, so.
I got some undeveloped film.
Oh, there you go.
I'm scared.
No, he wants to develop it. I'm like, just throw it away, dude. Just throw it away. I know what happened in the time frame when film was still a thing, and it ain't worth it, bro. But the hard part is, it might be like pictures of our old DJ crew playing Anchorman. And
something
like,
goofy, yeah.
Yeah, it might be that picture. Like, we DJed at this party one time, Abby. I'm sorry, man. We ruined your career tonight by being on this podcast. We apologize, man. We're so sorry. But anyways, we're going to finish the story, then we're going to let you guys go. Me and Adley DJing this party at his homeboy Donnie Mac's house. We haven't done this in a while because usually we'll reminisce and talk about why we were the Chino Brothers and when we were the Chino Brothers. We've had like you can't do that with like a lot of people because they're like, we don't give a crap. So I'm gonna just tell the story. We're in Tucson, right? And this is before we got on the radio station. But me and Ad at this point, like for some reason, like our crew was getting a big name in town. And Donnie
Too Strong
Mac
Entertainment.
Too Strong Entertainment. Adley started it. And Donnie Mac wanted to honor the two of us from Too Strong Entertainment. And he had one of those college fridges, and he filled it up with 40-ounce bottles of beer, so it would look like the Dr. Dre video if you were a midget.
Yep.
That's what he told us. Yeah, and so we lit this party up, and while I'm rocking this party, there was this weird, it looked like a totem pole in the middle of their quad. And you got to remember, we went to University of Arizona, so there was like a lot of fraternity white people at this place. And I was not a big fan of those type of folks, but I didn't care because I was rocking this party. So I climbed up the top of this pole and I got on top of the mic. I just started rocking this mic. Adley took a picture of it. It might be on that roll.
Oh, okay.
Oh, because I remember that for sure. But Abby, what we really want to ask you is, we need a theme song.
A theme song for you mean
for
for
the
your
Chino
show?
Brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be dope, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, you want me to write one for you?
You know what would be dope if you did it
Yeah.
and you plugged your project too in the theme song. If you could figure out, but try not to make it sound tacky. You know what I mean? Like,
See, we need to talk about what kind of vibe, what kind of genre we want.
who gives a crap? Just leave it if it's just like
You
you're
got the
just
skills.
scatting. We don't care. It doesn't make a difference.
Oh man, and then we could use a picture with you guys spooning.
No, I mean,
Cover, you know?
that might be on that roll of film. That might be why I'm trying to pretend like I never heard that story before. I might be like, I never heard this story. Don't throw that film away, young man.
I'm just saying, it might be.
It might be.
Collaboration of the work now here.
Oh, that's crazy.
All right, one way or
Well, yeah,
another,
we gotta
we're
do
going to
that,
let you
but-
guys go. Thank you for watching the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Clapper. Abby, stick around for the green room. And
Thanks
we're
so
gonna let
much,
you guys
Abby.
go. Yeah,
And-
thank
and
you for
check
being
out
on
her
the
new
show.
single,
Yeah,
Flying,
check out
too.
the new single, Flying. Check
Follow
out
her,
her
too.
single, Flying. It's
Instagram.
on everything. It's on everything. And she's on everything. Abby, where are you on? You're on TikTok. You're on Instagram. You're on, where are you on?
Spotify, Google, Apple, everything.
Don't worry about Apple and all that. Give me the socials. What do you? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Abby Loces and Instagram, Facebook, Abby Loces, and I'm gonna have a new website soon, so I don't have that yet. But
TikTok.
and I've got a
TikTok.
I just started. I don't even know how to use TikTok that well. I just started using that, but yes, I'm on TikTok at Abby Loces.
Yeah, you got to get on that. That's the music thing.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll do that.
What about Twitter? Are you doing that or no? You doing the Twitter?
Not doing Twitter yet. I will.
Okay.
It's a
All right.
lot.
Well, we'll put you on our TikTok. Our TikTok's lighting up. Hey, and thanks for everybody following us on TikTok too. You guys are awesome. All right, you guys, don't forget
Thanks,
follow us on
everybody.
YouTube. We're trying to get to that 7,000. Stop being stingy. We got like 5 more people. We'll get to 7,000. Yeah, knock it off. We're not giving away anything either. So just freaking,
Okay.
we need another 40 people.
Watch you
All
guys.
right. We'll see you guys next time. Abby, stick around.